All right, great. Well, thank you again for joining us today. And David, why don't you take it away?
All right. Thank you so much, Leanne. I hope everybody can hear me well. Just making sure.
Yep, I think
But
you're good.
anyways, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this leader call. Thank you so much for giving me your time to listen to how Water for Good is approaching WASH system strengthening in the Central African Republic. And I'm pleased to share about our strategic approach through commune-wide WASH planning. So what is commune-wide WASH planning, you might ask? Most countries have decentralized services that require local governments to take on the WASH Service Authority mandate. Local authorities are seen as responsible to ensure that everyone within their administrative oversight receives adequate services. A way of doing so is by overseeing service providers, utilities, and having the right arrangements with them to deliver services, O&M, and administration. So while most countries have decentralized services, communes in the Central African Republic have not been given the opportunity to define local governance around WASH services. As for many other services to its citizens, communes have not really built their own water and sanitation development plans. The central government has long expressed a desire and willingness to initiate the decentralization of power, but progress from paper to practice has been slow to non-existent. And factors holding the country's capacity to decentralize power include things like lack of funding, weak central governments, low population density, and more than anything else, a lack of planning and the absence of a roadmap. So you might be wondering, what does Water for Good have to do with all this? Well, first, I do want to step back a bit and quickly provide a very brief outline of the history of our programs in the Central African Republic. We began implementing water points in 2004 and a water point maintenance service the same year. We are currently providing maintenance services to over 2,100 water points with a 96% functionality rate. We're also working on improving sectoral systems at a national level, including planning, standardizing professional O&M services, and strengthening coordination among sector players. In 2018, we really began focusing on an entire region that you see here in blue, called Region 2, as we launched our strategic plan to try to reach universal access in a scalable manner by 2030. And as you can see here, even by 2026, we have an ambitious plan for water infrastructure. But over the years, something became more and more obvious. We've been doing a lot of infrastructure implementation with very little governance surrounding it. Here, the building blocks that make up the sector are meant to work in harmony with each other. These 9 building blocks that you see here are kind of the pillars of the water, sanitation, and hygiene system. Ideally, each block is strong and supports one another. If one block is weak, it has an impact on all the other ones. So as an organization that develops infrastructure and provides maintenance services, we've been focusing on the 2 building blocks that I've highlighted here. While we might support other building blocks indirectly, we are well aware that to ensure lasting services, a balanced relationship between service providers, service authorities need to be in place. And a clear indicator of a strong WASH system is, do all the sector actors that play a role in these building blocks that you see here know what they are supposed to be doing? Are they doing it? And are they supporting each other? Imagine your water supply, for instance, in a suburb of Cleveland is cut off. And the only place you can report this to is an office in Washington, D.C., 400 miles away. The city of Cleveland is aware of its many infrastructure problems, but doesn't have an understanding on how to invest in maintenance and repair. And in fact, it's not even given guidance and capacity to do so. In fact, the city of Cleveland didn't even know your district had water access. Some organizations came in and implemented water networks without coordinating with the city. So this seemingly far-fetched example is the reality for most communes in the Central African Republic. So appropriate steps need to be taken to reconcile such gaps. And it can't happen all at once, obviously, across the country. Each commune individually is theoretically given that mandate, but are not currently supported to do so. So going back to communal planning, what is a commune to begin with? In the Central African Republic, a commune is a community composed of villages, neighborhoods, groupings, and districts whose geographical limits are determined by law. And so here's for the trivia. Looking at this map, you see how many communes are there in the Central African Republic? I will give you just a few seconds to guess your answer. Type it into the chat. Leanne will be checking on that. And whoever gets the right answer or closest to it without going over wins the $25 gift card to our store. So I'm going to give you a few seconds.
Denny, you're not allowed to guess. Water for Good staff can't guess. Chris,
Yeah, I
60.
bet that.
Go, a few more minutes.
And not allowed to Wikipedia either.
Nope.
All right, I'm only seeing 3 answers. Let's get a couple more here.
Anybody else want to add in? Robin, I know you got something. All right, well, we can end that out. All right, you want to tell the answer? We have a winner.
So there are 176 communes in the country. So as an organization, Water for Good, that is committed to system strengthening and long-term change, Water for Good seeks to accompany sector authorities to resolve weaknesses through the development of WASH master plans at a communal level. So the communal approach is developed within an overall national framework. Implementing at a communal level will provide practical examples to other parts of the country, to other communes, on how to systematically plan for and achieve SDGs for WASH. So last year, UNICEF, whose mandate is to support the Ministry of Water at a political level in the Central African Republic, and Water for Good, whose strategic position as one of the largest service providers in the country, we began discussing the launch of the country's first communal-wide WASH plan. So the Ministry of Hydraulics supported the process by giving us a preliminary list of qualifiable communes in Region 2. And the main qualifying factor was the presence of a mayor to begin with. And so collectively, we identified Boar, as you see here on this map, as the best commune to pilot the process. Boar is the 3rd largest city in the country. It has 69 different districts or neighborhoods, and it represents just over over 100,000 residents. So we agreed to follow a roadmap, as you see here, a roadmap that is nothing really new. It's in fact an approach that is used in many municipalities, districts, and communes across the world. But I want to take a couple of minutes to describe how we have been leading the first iteration of this roadmap in the commune of Boar. So in March and April 2023, so this year, we sat down and introduced the concept of strengthening WASH systems through the communal-wide approach. This was the first time Boar was approached to discuss long-term planning for its commune. After this first visioning meeting, the municipality sent a formal letter to Water for Good and UNICEF requesting our support to develop their first commune-wide WASH plan. At the same time, we carried out an institutional assessment through a building blocks analysis. So if you kind of recall those building blocks, we analyzed the strength of each of those for the commune. And ideally, we would have immediately followed up with strengthening activities, looking at the weaknesses in the institutions that are in charge of the commune. But like most communes in CAR, the level of authority was found to be so weak that institutional strengthening is taken as one of the key activities in the early stages of the communal plan. The city hall, for instance, does not have any in-house WASH expertise nor enough human resources to lead the plan. In June, we carried out a commune-wide assessment of the current status of services across the entire commune, identifying service levels, existing and required infrastructure, financial needs and gaps, and other information to understand opportunities and obstacles. The assessment really provided a robust evidence base for planning and will serve as our baseline for subsequent monitoring throughout this plan, throughout the implementation of the plan. So we took the assessment data to the commune in September, so just a few weeks ago, and formally began WASH planning with all the sector stakeholders. We had representatives from the city hall, from central government, and members from each of those 69 districts that I mentioned earlier. And next month, we will be officially handing the WASH plan to the municipality of Boire. So implementation and monitoring will really be the real test, whether the commune's future can go from a plan to residents actually receiving adequate sanitation and water services. The implementation phase will obviously need to involve a harmonized collaborative effort between government, NGOs, the private sector, with technical assistance where necessary, and regular reviews. This is a plan that will be going from 2024 to 2030, and we'll be doing a midline assessment between now and then. So obviously, because we're putting decentralization into practice, a critical part of this roadmap will be to communicate everything that is decided at a communal level with sector authorities at the national level. So Boire is one commune among 176. You might be telling yourself, okay, there are a lot of communes in the country. So there's a long ways to go. But what we're excited about is that by doing one communal WASH plan, we're exposing and testing the entire system at a national level. These are going to be key learning moments of what is possible, what can work, and how far we can push a commune towards an acceptable level of autonomy and generate enough political and sectoral interest at a national level to deem this as the desired approach towards universal access to services across the rest of the country. I think the mere process of presenting the commune's assessment based on data and facts that we collected back in June and July kind of sent a shockwave across the commune. Everyone now knows that as of September 2023, only 16% of the commune has basic access to water, and that 89% of the households have latrines, but that are in dire states. So communes may not have strong WASH expertise in a long time, but what counts is that they now know where things are heading, where they're leaving from, and can support initiatives and actors who want to come in and invest in parts of the WASH plan. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. And any questions?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, David. Does anybody have any questions? You really flew through that very quickly.
I know. I just want to allow for the maximum number of questions.
Yeah.
David, it's Chris here. And I apologize if I missed it, but what would you say would be the immediate next step out of this in Boire?
So I would say the immediate next step is once they've been given the formal WASH plan a month from now, exactly, is to keep that momentum going and creating a space where the commune, the municipality, the city and its city council can meet at a national level and really make sure that they receive support from the Ministry of Hydraulics and presenting this WASH plan as well at a central level. A lot of the times, central governments and ministries don't really know how to support their communes simply because they don't have the data, nor do they have a plan. Communes don't come to the government with a plan, and it makes it very hard for the ministry to know where to begin. So identifying the key first steps and really identifying the best and most critical low-hanging fruits, and really playing a role of mediating, participating, and engaging in this collaboration, and really making sure that the commune is not just left with a plan on paper and we just walk away.
And how would you describe the Ministry of Hydraulics? What's their level of enthusiasm or their engagement there for?
So decentralization is an active process, and they've been given that mandate to really encourage it. I think what they really want is clear communication. We've been talking with them for the past year and a half that this was going to start happening, and they've been very enthusiastic about it. So we're going to go with that and go as far as we can with decentralizing these, the different responsibilities down to the commune. And for Water for Good specifically, since we are a service provider and also an actor that can bring investment, infrastructure into the commune, is also discussing how does Water for Good fit in this communal plan and what can we bring. Water for Good opened up a regional base, an office in Boire, which allows us to rub shoulders with all the actors that are present. There are a lot of NGOs. They want to implement, they want to invest, and it's really our responsibility to make sure that we coordinate and we communicate well with these different actors.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Do you want to stop sharing your screen so we can see your face?
Yes.
It's a nice face. And we got another question from Mark, which Mark, congratulations on winning that trivia question. I will send out your gift certificate here after the call. David, it's fine if you can't. Oh, there you go.
Got it.
Perfect. Mark's question, he just said, remind me regarding Water for Good's experience in community latrines and improving the defecation process.
We don't have an extensive amount of experience in community latrines. And in fact, one of the reasons why we saw this communal planning as an opportunity for us is really creating a plan that can involve all organizations. There are a lot of organizations that are actually in Boire who have that experience and that can now coordinate with the city hall itself around the construction of sanitation solutions.
Great. Mark, does that help answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Great. All right. Does anyone have anything else to ask David? I guess it really can be anything, right, David? You're kind of the advocacy expert. All right. Well, thank you all so much. We'll just wrap up a little early here. We appreciate you joining. And Jesse, sorry, I know you're just hopping in. We'll send out this recording of it tomorrow if you wanted to share with anyone or watch it again. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you so much for your time.
And sounds like a big job and good work. Thank you for taking it on.
Yeah, thank you. It's very exciting. And I again, really appreciate the time you've just given us to share and listen to what Water for Good is doing. This is kind of a new space for us. So we're taking on a lot of learning, and we're seeing already a lot of results in just this one commune. and how participants, stakeholders feel included. They feel heard, and they're excited to see things actually their plan actually taking action. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, great. Thanks,
Have
David.
a
Bye,
nice rest of your
everyone.
day.